I'd like to give a little bit of background on the Yoga Sutras. When most of us think about yoga, we think about the asanas that accompany somebody who does yoga. So standing on your head or doing a twist or some kind of semi-acrobatic movement or form that's done with our bodies. And that's actually a later development within the Hindu tradition, within the yogic tradition. The Yoga Sutras precede that by at least 1,000 years. And they really focus on how to work with your mind. And even though they come from the Hindu tradition, their scholars believe that there has been much influence and inspiration by Buddhism. And as we study the Yoga Sutras, as we contemplate that, you may find some really deep places of crossover here. So I think it's just so worthwhile getting into them and understanding them, because they provide a roadmap for how to use our mind. So let's take a moment to find a comfortable posture, kind of drawing our sit bones down, lengthening our back up, maybe a little tuck to our chin, finding our breathing. Softening the muscles around our shoulders. And you could actually even close your eyes if you want to for this. Maybe taking a moment to locate where the sensations in your body are, where you notice them most. It could be around your heart center, abdomen, shoulders, maybe around your face. And see if we can just take a few moments now to mentally soften the muscles, the physical muscles around wherever you notice sensation in your body. Just kind of calming down the body. It's much easier to work with the body than it is with the mind. So we start with the body. And when our body is calm, our mind naturally follows suit. So not to worry about the mind. In fact, if you have a lot of distracting thoughts, to draw your awareness into physical sensation is one way to deal with distraction. Dropping down below the level of thought, dropping beneath the thought waves. Just like waves on the ocean, we can go underneath them. And the mind is something that we can go underneath, the waves of the mind. The Yoga Sutras say, Yoga Chittam Vritti Nirodha. restraint of the modifications of the mind stuff is yoga. The mind stuff, these waves, mind waves, we can go underneath them. And that way they don't have a hold over us. The Yoga Sutras say disease, dullness, doubt. Disease, dullness, doubt, carelessness, laziness, sensuality, false perception, failure to reach firm ground, and slipping from the ground gained. These distractions of the mind stuff are the obstacles. This just named all the obstacles that we encounter in a meditation practice. Let me read them again. Anything that you find a distraction, I'd be willing to bet that if you look close enough at them, they fall into one of these categories. Listen carefully. Disease, dullness, doubt, carelessness, laziness, sensuality, false perception, failure to reach firm ground, and slipping from the ground gained. And these distractions are not meant to shame us. We might have these distractions in any given moment. They're natural. They appear. So there's no need whatsoever to feel shame about having any of these things. The sutras are just telling us the nature of the mind, that these things create distractions for our practice. And they exist for us to a greater or lesser degree in each moment. So let's take a moment. This is in relationship to the first noble truth of the Buddha, that all life is suffering. So let's just take a moment to settle into whatever discomfort we may feel at this moment. Instead of trying to run from it, just be with it. Kind of resolving to be with whatever discomfort is there, making the resolve to be okay, to not, it's not simply accepting it, but being with it. Allow your body to settle into whatever discomfort may be there. Accompaniments to the mental distractions include distress, despair, trembling of the body, and disturbed breathing. These are the things that accompany these distractions. Distress, despair, trembling of the body, and disturbed breathing. So take a moment to notice if any of these are present for you, if one of them seems to be stronger than the other, where you feel that in your body, and bringing to that awareness a sense that it's okay. It's okay to experience these things or to feel them. If you don't feel anything like that, then just notice that. Notice a non-feeling. Distress, despair, trembling of the body, disturbed breathing. If those are not present for you, notice their absence. That in itself is a practice, to notice the absence of those things. Okay, now the sutras give us some tools for dealing with these distractions. They say the practice of concentration on a single subject or the use of one technique is the best way to prevent the obstacles and their accompaniments. The practice of concentration on a single subject or the use of one technique is the best way to prevent the obstacles and their accompaniments. The practice of concentration on a single object or the use of one technique is the best way to prevent the obstacles and their accompaniments. So now's an opportunity to consider what your object of meditation might be. Here's 4 possibilities. They're called the 4 locks and the 4 keys. Maitri Karuna Mudito Eksanam Sukha Dukkha Punya Punya Vishanam Bhavanatas Chitta Prasadanam. By cultivating attitudes of friendliness toward the happy, compassion for the unhappy, delight in the virtuous, and disregard toward the wicked, the mind stuff retains its undisturbed calmness. Cultivating an attitude of friendliness towards those who are happy, compassion for those who are unhappy, delight in the virtuous, and disregard toward the wicked. The mind stuff retains its undisturbed calmness. or that calm is retained by the controlled exhalation or retention of the breath. Now we start to turn awareness from relationships inward, looking at our breathing. Or that calm is retained by the controlled exhalation or retention of breathing. Controlled exhalation. So you have the opportunity, if you want it here, to not just notice your breathing, but control the exhalation, maybe make it longer, or even hold your breath briefly. If your mind begins to, if you begin to feel lightheaded, that's a sign that you're holding it too long. If you're getting out of breath, that's a sign that you need to not do that, right? Not hold the breath. But you could experiment, maybe making your exhalation a little bit longer. Maybe holding your breath in for a half a second. Or that calm is retained by the controlled exhalation or retention of the breathing. or the concentration on subtle sense perceptions can cause steadiness of mind, or the concentration on subtle sense perceptions can cause steadiness of mind. We can shift our attention from our breath to subtle sensations, and this can cause steadiness of mind. And the last one we'll do for now, by no means the last one in the sutras, or by concentrating on the supreme, ever blissful light within, or by concentrating on the supreme, ever blissful light within. This can help to calm the mind. Concentration on the ever blissful light within.